Welcome to Board Ghost, a story broadcast with games as the engine.
If living is a highway, then heaven is a bus stop. Been waiting for a minute there, but has it been forever? 'Cause dying don't agree with me.
We believe you're out there, hungry for stories for shared experience. We can't see you, can't hear you, yet we'll play for you. This night's offering is a game of Kingdom by Ben Robbins and produced by Lame Mage Productions. To learn how we generate stories playing games of Kingdom, go check out our Kingdom Rules Primer. All right, our humble players, myself, John Holt, with me.
Ken Breeze.
D. Gailey.
Hi, I'm Lucian Khan.
Welcome.
This is wild.
There's a little intro to read. Kingdoms are all around us. Groups are stronger than individuals. In a kingdom, we can work together to do great things. We may not agree on what path our kingdom should take or what it should stand for. Can your vision of the kingdom work with mine? Can everybody get what they want? Because if you're part of the kingdom, it makes demands on you too. You're pressured to do what it thinks is right. The question becomes, do you change the kingdom or does the kingdom change you? We make our kingdom together. A kingdom is a game term for the community or organization that is the focus of our game. Any kind of community works, and we'll decide what kind of kingdom we want to play together. Our kingdom could be a frontier town in the Old West, a colony ship crawling towards a distant star, or the teachers and students of Sunnybrook Elementary School. Each of us will play a character who is part of the kingdom. The kingdom is what ties our characters together. It is the center of all our lives. And watch it burn. The game is about seeing what happens to the kingdom and the people in it, how the characters change the kingdom and how it changes them. As players, we will all have equal authority to influence the game. It is up to each of us to push the kingdom in directions we find interesting. What will our kingdom do? What will it become? Will it burn or flourish? Will it stay true to its ideals, our ideals, or will it become some twisted shadow of our dreams? The kingdom's fate is in our hands. We're going to go into setup. We are going to brainstorm our concept for our kingdom.
So right before this started being recorded, I floated the idea to everyone, which they may or may not accept, of this kingdom involving some 1980s style glam anthropomorphic cats, sort of halfway between the Thundercats cats and the Cats the Musical cats. Over the top, rippling muscles and leotards and like sparkles and like saturated colors, extreme cat people.
Yeah, that's our premise, say. But where are we like a la cats sort of living in a blown up street alley kind of thing?
Exactly. What's the location? Are we like in a dump, like Heathcliff?
Or is it like, or again,
Space station.
In Thundercats, yeah, is it a space station? What was that? Red
I actually
evolved?
I kind of love the idea of these like super stylish cats living in a dump.
In a junkyard.
Yeah.
So that could be it, is that the junkyard is like the height of like fashion for the cat culture.
Yeah. They're avant-garde.
Very avant-garde.
Yeah.
Like it's cats, right?
Or
To
cats.
take that,
Yeah.
right?
Anthropomorphic cats.
Is anthropomorphic, but it's from the audience's perspective. Because in
Right.
the show,
Correct.
they do represent real cats.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
like, are there humans who?
Yes.
And
Do you think there are humans that are not like cat
Yes.
people
Yes.
in this community or outside this community?
Outside.
outside?
Yeah.
Outside.
And
Yeah.
are they also like giants? Like, are we as
Yes,
anthropomorphic
they are
cats
giants.
like relative size to the
They're-
way house cats
No,
and humans
they're
would
giant.
be?
No, they're giant.
We're
They're giant.
we're huge.
Yeah.
So are we like bigger than a Tolkien elf? Like, are we bigger than?
I was saying that the humans are bigger.
Yeah,
They
like
are
the
giants
humans are like-
size to us. Like we're smaller than
Oh,
humans.
so we're like the size of a house cat, but human shaped.
It's sort of like it's like that thing where you see two people like in the leotards going blah, 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 at each other and fighting,
yeah.
and then you cut to the perspective of
the
a
cats.
guy
Yeah.
watching it, and it's two cats going.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see. So like from our perspective, we like walk on two legs.
Exactly.
And like wear leotards
Exactly.
and have like amazing makeup and
Yes.
like stylish
Yes.
whiskers.
Or
and all that.
not, depending
Or
on
not. Humans just see like
A bunch of
house
cats in a
cats.
garbage.
a bunch of house cats.
Maybe
or-
you maybe
or
might have
alley
like a
cats.
bandana around your collar or something like that,
Oh
or
my
your
God.
neck. Or something.
Okay, perfect.
I don't know. But yes.
So we're a very misunderstood community.
Or just not
Definitely.
acknowledged. you
Yeah, yeah,
know,
yeah,
Ignored
totally.
for the most
We're
part.
definitely ignored.
I mean, are we straight up alley cats? Like, is this an urban environment with an alley? Is this like the outskirts of where the city meets the dump or whatever? Like, what is this location? Like, is this a New York behind a row of restaurant style dump?
Oh,
that
that's
is
great.
that is like unto it's unto a small country to us because we are cats, right? Like,
Yeah.
that is our city. What's the scale of our world too? And like, what is that? Like, what defines our world? Is it the alley between this street and this street is our world?
I was
Or what?
thinking of like a giant dump.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
Like the kind that you find like in the Midwest, kind of.
Or
It doesn't
one of those
have
like
to.
island dumps, like in Staten Island, like Staten Island.
This is like a straight up.
Shaolin.
This is a landfill, right? This
Yeah.
is like a
Mhm.
proper giant dump.
What if it's a garbage barge?
Yeah, garbage
Oh, I
barge. Garbage
love-
barge.
I love garbage barge.
Garbage barge.
Like this is floating, like our world is
Oh
like
my
on the back
God.
of a turtle, kind of.
I am
That's-
extremely in
that's
favor
fine
of
with
us
me.
living in a garbage barge.
Yeah, fine with me. So like basically it'd be like on the Hudson River and it'd
Yes.
just be a garbage barge.
I
that,
think
like,
it is actually a garbage barge on the Hudson River.
All right.
Yeah. So we're transitory. We go in between.
But maybe we don't notice.
Yeah,
though,
we
right?
don't
Yeah.
experience ourselves
don't-
as being nomadic,
Right,
right?
right.
But in
There are
fact,
trash showers.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like the turning of the earth. We
yeah.
don't, we're not aware of
our
it.
world like shifts every
Yeah.
so
Those
often.
are the seasons.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
See,
So-
yeah, it's like the seasons. Yeah.
Like a
there-
couple
Yeah.
dozen cats.
couple
is
dozen cats, and there
enough.
could be factions. And,
Definitely.
Yeah.
Are there other like are rats and seagulls
Definitely.
also
yes.
anthropomorphized?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
for sure.
Okay.
It's like
Well,
this is like
yeah,
Secret
maybe
of Nim
there's-
shit.
I kind of like the idea that like this weird perspective thing, the rats and the seagulls, etc., have their own communities or
Yes.
whatever, but they still see us like the humans see us
Oh.
as just cats. Like I think we're actually not like understood in our real
Okay. cool.
real sort
Okay.
of our experience of ourselves by any of the
Got it.
creatures surrounding
Got it.
us. And we probably see them as rats and seagulls,
Okay.
etc.
That
Like,
we
okay.
hunt and
Yeah,
kill.
that's kind of what I was
Okay.
thinking. Not
Sure.
necessarily like racism, but more like the perspective of each community sees
Yeah.
itself
Cool.
as.
So and there's no real communication between them.
Yeah,
That's right.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like we're not gonna go
Except
like
the communication
go
of
to
the hunt.
go to like a council meeting with the seagulls. Like
Right.
we can't
We
can't
can't
understand
communicate
them
with
at
So
all.
it's a floating city of bounty.
And it's very like stylish. It's
Yeah,
like
it's
very
super stylish.
hip.
Yeah, all the garbage that gets thrown on here is from like
It's from New York
Broadway,
City.
yeah, exactly.
it's all from Broadway.
it's all Broadway trash. This is the dedicated Broadway garbage barge.
Broadway garbage barge.
Felines rule this land.
Should it be called something like Broadway Barge?
Well, is it like it's got like a call sign, and we like. Well, I mean, we can't read,
Like Studio 54, like that type of thing.
but like if it's XL571, it's like Excelli.
I'm
Or
feeling-
So you're thinking
ZDF.
of like a
Club
V'ger
name.
kind of
Yeah, like
concept.
so, but it's like Xanadu. It's a floating city of bounty. Felines rule the land. What's like an inherent tension in this place? Like, but we rely on the seasons for our sustenance. Like we don't like we're kind of animals of leisure a little bit, but
I would think there would be competition between the different species
I
to take
that's
over the
exactly
garbage,
where
right?
I was
Like,
going. So why don't we go with like some sort of competition, like a fashion show or talent show?
Yeah, I think
or
a competition.
There's like a
among,
gathering of the clans
among the different cats.
Exactly. There's like a gathering of the tribes, and they must, compete. Think of like Wakanda.
I like the idea of a fashion show, for sure, or like a talent show.
Yeah, some sort of talent show.
well,
yeah.
let's say like we'll keep it as compete and kind of
Yeah.
let that flesh
Yeah.
out as we get into stuff. So we
There's-
must compete
we
for
must
the.
compete. For
We must
the-
compete, but we must
Just-
compete like aesthetically.
That's why I'm saying it's like fashion show because it's almost like we're competing to set the new like style for the next year or something. Like that.
Yeah.
It's like the whoever wins is sort of like sets that tone.
Yeah. Within this world, there's a lot of tension around aesthetics and like competing for your group of cats being like the trendiest,
For prestige, is that or what
Yeah.
would it be? Like, what's the
Sounds
term?
Almost like a
isn't
like
it?
social status.
Social status.
Is there like a throne or a crown? Like, is there sort of like
A
if your
symbol,
faction
a symbol.
it attains this, what do they get? Like, is it just
Maybe there's like a
first
great
pick?
treasure that you gain control of, like some sort of object that is really important to everyone.
Yeah, some like really shiny, fancy piece
Maybe
of
it's
trash.
like you compete for the right to represent the barge,
Mhm.
being present, which also means like you're the ones who get to be closest to shore and eat the best garbage. I don't. Well, how about this? We must compete for social status and the trappings that brings.
Yeah,
That way we'll keep it
mhm,
broad.
yeah.
Meowtropolis.
Meowtropolis isn't bad.
Yeah, like that.
I kind of like Meowtropolis.
All right, so here we go. Meowtropolis is a floating city of bounty. Felines rule this land. We must compete for the social status and trappings that brings, a.k.a. garbage scow on the Hudson.
AKA the best garbage.
Okay, so having sorted that out, threats. Brainstorm 3
God.
threats to the kingdoms.
Yeah, I love the idea that the captain of the barge hates us.
Or maybe we can even push a little further on that the captain is actually neutral towards us, and that's why we've been able to flourish here. But recently, a new mate has been hired who is very anti-feline.
Yeah, totally.
That the captain...
First mate hates cats.
Yeah, exactly. First mate hates cats.
And it's kind of more of a human issue. I'm not sure if you'd be aware of it, but like the zero waste movement, getting rid of these sort of like landfills and places where garbage is collected in favor of recycling and restoring old Broadway theaters and reusing the parts for new buildings, that kind of thing. I don't know if it's a threat we would be aware of, but
Yeah,
that's
but
something I
maybe
thought of.
like how would we think about it, right? Like would there be like if it rains trash every season, right? When we reach one area and then the trash is harvested if we don't eat it, like any waste.
Mhm.
So, does it mean like is that there is the bounties from heaven have been drying up or are less fruitful, like that sort of thing? Like how do we read it?
Mhm.
Like they're more fabulous but less fruitful. So like we get a lot of like flashy garbage because flashy people don't care.
Oh, yeah. Well, I just thought of another thing, an internal problem. Corruption in the judging of the talent competitions.
Ooh, okay, cool. Far
Food is
between-
becoming scarce.
Yeah.
Would be kind of
Yeah,
Totally.
Yeah.
scarce.
And then we have corruption in the
Corruption in the
in
judging.
the judging of the talent
Oh,
competitions.
no. That's the sacred charge of judging.
The adjudicators are vulnerable to corruption.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Locations.
Ruined head of a carousel horse. Like, so it's like hollow inside, and maybe it's become like some sort of hangout.
What do we call it?
The Horse's Head Tavern. Cabaret.
No, wait. What about something like the main drag, like MANE?
That's pretty good.
Your location. What do you
Yeah,
want
I
it to be?
like the main drag.
All right.
We'll go with that.
Yeah, I was thinking of a crystal lake.
Oh.
So a place where there is fresh water that is maybe, I don't know if there is any kind of cabin or place where there might be plumbing for the captain or the first mate on this barge, but it has leaked over this bed of like broken glass and mirrors, and so it creates this beautiful serene drinking hole where if you look close enough you can see your reflection.
Do we call it Crystal Lake?
Sure.
Or
We're gonna have something called the catwalk. I am picturing that this garbage barge for some reason has like a mast with like
Yeah.
a big sail and like rigging and sort of like a big like long wooden thing that like cats can walk, like balance along and sort of strut their
A
stuff.
mizzen mast.
Like it's
a yard arm.
Yeah, I'm really bad at like names of ship
It
parts.
sounds like a junk that we're on to me.
yeah, I think maybe it's like basically like the rotted remains of a railing.
Yeah.
That sounds
So it's like
much
one
better.
of the. So
Yeah.
it's like sort of as the garbage slopes because this
Yeah.
basically a garbage scow, right, is like a big
Yeah.
box. Like that's what a garbage scow is, with garbage piled like that, and it gets towed, right?
Right.
Like something like that. We might have like a cabin. So if there's like rusted out sort of railing along the side.
I love that.
That's
Yeah.
like-
So that's called the catwalk.
The catwalk.
And it's used for promenading, the equivalent of like a fashion show type thing or a talent show type
Is
thing.
it where the
Yeah, it
fashion
is
show
where the
held?
fashion talent show takes place, and that is basically the stage.
There's a place called Skybox, and it's basically the very tip top of the garbage pile.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the top of the heap. It's where the garbage rains in from, so it's a little dangerous to stay at Skybox during the rain, but Skybox is the like freshest, hottest place to eat. Everyone goes to Skybox for the latest in culinary. So it's
Is it expensive? Is there like an economy involved?
well,
It's like a first come first serve. Maybe,
Also, you
or
need to,
a
like-
hierarchy.
you also need to eat fashionably.
Right.
And so like you're very hungry, so you want to eat quickly, but you also need to like look good doing it because you can also lose social cachet by like looking like a slob.
What better way to look like a slob than when you're hopped up on cat-made catnip?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, at like this underground, like seedy sort of locale where they like cook up their own catnip, and they serve it there, like situated in like the lower levels of the garbage scow, where again the garbage is sort of like crusted and formed.
It's like, what is it, like some sort of like a sluice pipe or something? Or
sluice pipe.
what are those called? Like there's some sort of like drainage thing.
Sluice
Yeah.
pipe. I was thinking it might be in like some sort of broken like wooden chest.
What if it was a chest that once contained like costumes?
And it's like
Perfect.
become this sort of composted
Yes,
soil
exactly.
with
Yeah.
sequins in it.
Yeah, with like
Sequins
sequins
and, like,
and rhinestones.
Definitely like costume jewelry.
Yeah,
like,
it's like
this is,
full of.
So it's
yeah.
like sort of this weird like drug house.
What do we call it?
Sluice pipe.
Sluice pipe.
sluice pipe.
When we grow catnip there.
Yes.
It's like an opium den.
Yes.
Maybe you guys can help me. I'm thinking of a place that is scary, like something horrible happened there, and it's dangerous and frightening. I was kind of thinking of maybe it's like an old like walk-in freezer or fridge or something
that's
that people
perfect.
got trapped inside,
or
or
maybe
like
it's where cats go to die. Like
Yeah,
they could walk in
maybe.
there and like when they're dying, it's like all right, go walk in there.
Or maybe
So it's
this
like-
is like the least fashionable lists are put in the.
I was.
oh yeah, ostracized, exiled.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So like, if you lose social cachet, you have to go live in
the
in
freezer?
the terrible.
Well, you're
Lock-
closed into the icebox where you're like, you
Where you die? Oh, where you slowly freeze to death?
well, it's not even freezing.
But
you
it's
just
not
suffocate.
plugged in. If you were to commit
John's ready.
some like horrible faux pas.
Okay, so this is
like
like
losing the
this is the
fashion show.
prison. Like this is like the
It's also, it's
this
one of
is-
the, like,
this is the,
larger
like-
this is
fair.
fashion police
This is
jail.
fashion police jail.
Yeah,
sort of
and I
thinking,
think but I think there's a lot of mystery around it. Like people are afraid of it; they don't generally go there. So
Well, do you ever come back from there if you go
No.
there? All right. Well, yeah, there you go. You don't want to go there then.
not that anyone knows of. If anyone has come back, they haven't
What-
spoken of this place.
What do they call it? Like, what is the sort of name for this?
Sluice pipe.
What are some scary things for cats?
Water.
Water fans,
cats.
Last season.
Cats hate fans.
vacuums.
Yeah,
like,
Roombas.
Roombas. Anyway.
Snake den.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just the den, maybe.
I like Snake Den.
Snake den.
I have a place. So somehow or another, like I do this all the time in all of my game design. I wanna make a synagogue. So these cats have a synagogue.
Mhm.
There's like a tiny like kitchen, like actually in the trash, like
Oh.
basically for
The galley.
Yeah, the galley. I think the galley of the trash barge is like
Is a synagogue.
is Glam Cat Synagogue. At least that's where I would want to
It's
go to
like
synagogue.
the best place to be seen, basically.
Yeah, if I were gonna go to synagogue and like were a glam cat on this barge, yeah, it's the galley. And it's called Temple Meowsis.
I'm gonna make a place. This is like these are condos basically. All the nice boxes are dragged to this spot. Like the nicest boxes, the most like square of the boxes.
Refrigerator boxes,
And so it's just like
Bodega boxes.
boxes that are kind
Shoe
of
boxes.
gathered up
wine crate.
and
boxes.
create this staggered, messy, high-rise kind of.
Oh, that's
condo
great.
system.
Awesome.
This may be where people try to live. I don't know if everyone lives here, but
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
a
like
nice
the
place.
high
It's a
class.
nice place to live. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
High
like it's like the
status.
condo.
Yeah, it's high status.
What is it called? Trump Tower?
No.
No. What?
Although it could be called Dump Tower.
Dump Tower. Oh,
Dump gardens.
Dump Garden. I kind of like that.
all right, let's do it. Dump Garden. Character.
Oh my God, yes.
Uh,
And I want to be perspective.
Great.
Okay.
I'm going to be Touchstone.
if I say power, then you.
No, that's fine. I usually am the power, but I don't want to be. I want to
Well,
be
you
a
could
touchstone.
also be the
too.
power.
I know.
Okay, so I will start.
I want to
as the
be a
power.
touchstone. I want to be a peasant.
I'm one of those like star rabbis. So for everybody at home, I, Lucian Khan, grew up in Los Angeles. There definitely were those sort of like rabbis that were like a little bit Hollywood, a little bit Broadway, sort of showmanship. It's not like, oh my God, the wise rabbi. It's like, oh my God, the like stylish rabbi.
Stylish rabbi.
Style rabbi.
So
Style rabbi
Ma-
cat.
Madonna went to your Kabbalah classes? Is that what
Exactly.
you're telling
Madonna
me?
went to my Kabbalah
Is that what you're
classes.
telling me right now?
Rabbi. That is exactly what I am.
My character is going to be the head of wait staff at the Skybox. They are going to be a black and white bow tie cat.
I am going to be kind of an older teenager cat. I think she is sort of a scavenger. Like there are certain cats that are responsible for trying to gather the best materials for like the competitions. If we're still going with the fashion show idea, then
Yeah.
like they're responsible for venturing out and
So
gathering
are you
the
like
best.
a scavenger fashion designer?
Sort
Do you-
of.
do you, like,
Well, she
'cause-
comes from like a line of like people that are really into fashion, right? So
Yeah.
this is sort of like her job.
She's like
but
a textile expert.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but she is like a punk, right? Like she is sort of counterculture.
Yeah.
So
Does she work for a designer kind of thing? Like, is she like
I think
a
it's like a
designer's
family
assistant?
thing.
A family thing.
Family
yeah,
thing.
like maybe her parents were like very prestigious, and so she has the weight of this responsibility on her, but she is sort of rebelling against it internally. I think she's a tortoise, like calico. She's a
Tortoiseshell?
tortie, yeah. So
tortoiseshell.
because calicos also have multiple colors, but
Yeah.
she's a tortie.
Tortoiseshell, yeah.
So she's like mostly black with like orangey and grayish spots. It's very sleek. If we're talking avant-garde, like haute couture is like the style, what would be counterculture?
Or is it? I mean,
I don't know. That's what I'm wondering. I don't know.
I mean, I could see then like straight up like gutter punk being that counterculture then, right? You could be
I'm going to be one of the head judges.
Yes.
My cat is a teacup cat, like a Himalayan with a smushed face and like big eyes that point in different directions. When they're anthropomorphic, they're like shorter, maybe like 4'5", I don't know, like 4'10", 4'11", and they've got a big white afro. I'm gonna say like a lot of like bodysuit with a lot of fringe, like white fringe. Like think like Judas and JC Superstar when he comes back. Their eyes definitely wall-eyed, like their eyes point in totally different directions, and they're kind of old too. They're an older cat.
So one thing I know for sure is that my yarmulke is actually a melted CD. Is it? I always mix up concave and convex, but you know it's like as the light of the sun hits the garbage barge, you see these like beautiful rainbows like shining off of my CD yarmulke, and I'm this like really sleek, slender black cat. With like this shiny like rainbow. I basically am like gay rabbi black cat wearing a lot of like velvet, right? Like black velvet.
I will be playing Chester McStuffin, who is a tall, thin, black and white furred cat with a red bow tie and parted hair.
Okay, I got it. My name is Rabbi Rainbows.
Yes.
And he's a he, Rabbi Rainbows.
The Honorable Judge Buttercup.
Good. Even though I created both of these locations, I think it is only natural that Rabbi Rainbows is to be found at the catwalk and at Temple Meowses.
At Catwalk too.
Yeah, I
Very
think
nice.
because he's like a star, so he's really into the
He's trying to
theatrical,
win. He's
like
trying
the
to win.
theatrical
trying
production
to
of
win.
his services. So he like is often in the audience at the catwalk.
Right. The Honorable Judge Buttercup is also at the catwalk, for sure, because that's where they judge competitions. I'm gonna say they they stay at the Snake Den.
For Chester McStuffin, the head waiter at the Skybox, I chose the Skybox, as
Good.
well as the Catwalk, because Chester obviously wants to win this competition. So
Yeah.
he's trying to strut his stuff on the catwalk as well to get ready for the competition.
I think my character, Narcissa the Lean, she hangs out at the main drag, the bar / club, to meet up with her cronies. And I think she also ventures out to the crystal world, the crystal lake, a lot for some quiet self-reflection.
I'm gonna say Judge Buttercup also beyond the catwalk is also found at their penthouse at Dump Gardens.
D, I was thinking for Narcissa the Lean that maybe I am your customer. Maybe I purchase your textiles or things that you find to make my costumes out of.
Purchase. I get it. I think that makes sense.
To let everybody know, for the sake of understanding our kingdom, that of course the religion of all of these cats is mutism. That means that we are all Mewish.
With various levels of observance.
Exactly. You don't have to be very devoutly Mewish.
Well, what makes the bond difficult?
Chester McStuffin, he like really wants people to accept him and like him. Like he's
Yeah.
really bought into this
That's true.
social capital.
That's true.
And I feel like Narcissa's like very
Anti that.
Yeah. Do you think Rabbi Rainbows is maybe my dad?
Ooh, I love that.
He's also very into the social capital of this world,
Yeah.
right? Like he's very stylish.
Yeah.
So she's the daughter of someone who's like very important in the community.
Yeah. I mean, so here's the thing. Rabbi Rainbows is, of course, a gay rabbi cat. He did have a previous meowage to a lady cat, and before he understood himself and had
Got her littered.
got her littered, exactly, and had Narcissa the Lean. And they're still friends. I don't know if we'll see her in the game, but it wasn't like a
Is that
Yeah.
part of what makes it a little difficult? That
Our
like,
relationship.
yeah, like what makes this bond a little difficult?
He really expects a lot of me.
Yeah.
Right? And wants me this social capital is so important. Like it's important that I represent him well in the community. Growing up, like there was always this pressure to be like really good at my job and really like be invested. And that's sort of what has inspired me to rebel, I think. So
But you're still like fashion forward, which means you're still very present, which is also a tension for your father.
yeah. But it's a different kind of fashion than I think the Rabbi Rainbows would
Right.
be
Yeah.
Right. Like it's not.
accepting of.
Rabbi Rainbows really wants to impress the Honorable Judge Buttercup. I'm really interested in like having you come attend my services so that you can see that like I'm really improving as a performer.
What do you want to gain from that? Like, is that to win the competition, or do you want to like become a judge?
I think I secretly want to win the competition.
Okay.
My official stance is like, oh no, I'm really only interested in like taking care of like Mewish family services and like being like a good rabbi and being a community leader. Deep down in my heart, I would really love to win the talent show and fashion competition, and I don't think it's that I want the power. I think it's that I want the glory. Like I want the prestige and the fame, because I already get to make decisions for, some decisions for like my synagogue and like give advice and stuff. But what I really want is to be a star.
You want to sway my judgment.
I wanna
so you're,
sway your
like,
judgment.
courting and buttering me up.
Yeah,
Things
but
that.
like I wouldn't want to do it through like bribery
Right.
or trickery. I would want you to legitimately think that I am a great performer.
Okay.
I'm like a sycophant to you. I'm like your fanboy.
What if we make it like we're both in positions of power at different, like we're both at levels of power.
Yeah,
Right. Like
Yeah.
I have the judge thing, you have the holiness,
yeah.
and so there's this like peer level that creates a tension too. So like you may even come like you're
Well,
like
how religious is the judge?
I think the judge is TBD. I think they keep stuff close to the vest.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
think they go regularly, they observe, but
Yeah.
like they may not have two kitchens.
Right.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
Right.
Or
Like,
2 kittens.
Heyo.
like it's very much the appearances for the judge is very much about being like on the up and up,
Yeah.
right? And so
Mm.
part of this like power struggle, maybe that's our like the tension in our bond.
Yeah.
We all are at the same functions. We are operating on the same level. There's something you want from me that I need to be very careful about giving.
Yeah, totally.
It's like we're close, but we can't be close.
Yeah.
Too. There's also a potential power struggle
Yeah,
within
totally.
here. Maybe.
Maybe.
Before the skybox, Chester was a bartender at the Main.
Yes.
And that was
true.
like when Buttercup, before becoming the honorable judge, was like always over at the Main.
Oh,
always,
party cat.
always watching this bartender.
Party
And kind of
cat.
has the hots for a buttered up Chippendale Chester.
Chester.
Yeah.
That is exactly where Chester is. He's a muscular cat.
Yeah. So it's sort of like a
I was imagining him as a nerd, but is he like he's a buff?
He's a
nerd.
buff
He's
nerd.
a buff. He's a buff.
Gotcha.
Performer.
So I think he's like, or
He's nerdy about his.
the Honorable Judge
performance.
Buttercup has like a crush
Got it.
on Chester.
Got it.
It's a little bit of like pedestaling a beautiful younger creature kind of thing. So it's
Totally.
like the judge is not being the coolest about this whole thing.
Just to make it a little bit love triangle-y, can I add that Rabbi Rainbows also kind of has a crush on Chester McStuffin?
Yeah,
course.
I'd say let's canon it, and then you can kind of play it out in
Yeah.
the story.
Sounds good.
So the tension in our bond. Well, one, I'm a judge. Like I may actually overcorrect from that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think the tension in our bond, up to now, I have not tried to trade on this affection that you hold for me, but maybe that.
Well, you know it,
Yes. Oh,
right?
I'm
Like
aware
I was
of
a
it.
good tipper.
Yeah, I'm aware of
like,
it.
I was like,
Yeah.
and a little something for you.
Yeah, exactly. We talked about your personal life.
I would bring you the good stuff from
The good stuff.
from this. What was it? From the Schluch
From
pipe.
the sloosh pipe. The shlooshiest sloosh.
So yeah, like I may overcorrect for this, and then at the same
Okay.
time, this tension of like, will you take advantage of that?
Yep.
So we've created our kingdom. We have Meowtropolis. It's a floating city of bounty, ruled by the felines. We must compete for social status and the trappings that brings in Meowtropolis, which is also a garbage scow on the Hudson. Our threats: the first mate of this place hates cats. The food and consumables have been becoming scarce more recently. And we also have the judges of our competition may be vulnerable for corruption. So then the locations, we have the Main Drag, which is a ruined horsehead carousel that we use as a bar/club. We have Crystal World, which is a crystal lake of fresh water that's sort of glass and mirror bits that catch the leaked water from the fresh water pipes of the nearby galley or whatever I guess it would be. We have the Catwalk, which is the rusted remains of a railing where our talent shows take place, the main competitions of our world. We have Skybox, which is the top of the garbage heap where garbage is dropped for food. It's the place to be seen and be seen eating. And we have the Schluch Pipe, which is a broken wooden chest that contains compost soil mixed in with and made of old costumes. So there's sequins and costume jewelry in there, giving their glitter and magic to the catnip that grows there that we treat as an opiate. We also have the Snake Den, the spooky old freezer, the scary place where cats may or may not go to die. We have Temple Meowsis, the synagogue, which is the galley of the barge, maybe the cleanest place on the boat.
For sure.
We have the Dump Gardens, the elite of elite box high-rise condos, a bunch of boxes where a bunch of cats live.
Elite cats.
And that is our world. So our characters, I am playing the power right now, the Honorable Judge Buttercup. They are a teacup cat. They have a stand about 4 foot tall. Maybe if you measure to the top of their afro, like 6 feet. No, it's not that big. An
Big
afro.
afro. 5 feet.
5 foot with the afro, big wall eyes, white suit, white fringe, and some sparkles on the shoulders. They are the judge in this world. They're one of the head judges. They make determinations on the competition that determine status. They, just in being a judge, already are attributed some status, and they spend a lot of their time over at the catwalk, sort of with talking with the other judges, maintaining the location. I mean, everyone kind of like gabs and talks. It's another place to see and be seen. And then I also spend time at the dump gardens, where my penthouse is, where my special box is located. And now I have a bond with Chester McStuffin. I used to stay at the main drag when I was a little bit younger, before I reached high judge status, and I crushed on the Chippendale-like bartender there, a bow tie cat who at the time wore a black bow tie, because that was the main drag's, that's what you wore. That was all he wore. And I would make sure to tip extra. And but I am very careful. I overcorrect for this crush. I just try to be very aware of my judging.
And that's right. I am playing Chester McStuffin, a once Chippendale dancer bartender cat at the main drag. But I've improved my lot in life. I'm really focused on winning the competition. I am a black and white bow tie cat. I'm very tall and muscular. I also wear now a red bow tie when I'm working. I also have like parted hair, which looks very sort of out of place. But I am the head waiter now at the Skybox, the head of the wait staff. So I sort of call the shots, and I'm seen and do see and seat and converse with many of the personalities in Meowtropolis. I spend also a lot of my time at the catwalk, because that's where I've been practicing my dance/walk on said catwalk. However, I do have a bond with textile scavenger punk, this crust punk, whose name is Narcissa the Lean. She's sort of like my costumer, but she's like way too avant-garde for the stuff I'm trying to do. So my costumes always turn out to be like super weird, but I don't know. I'm trying to work through it.
And I'm playing Narcissa the Lean. She is a teenage tortoiseshell cat. And her title, the Lean, is given to the best scavengers, as they are able to make costumes from the leanest of scraps. She likes to hang out at the main drag, at the bar, where she can gather with her cronies and the people in her crew. She also tends to hang out at Crystal World, spending some time in self-reflection. She has a bond with Rabbi Rainbows, who is her dad, and there's some tension there because she's very much into avant-garde, new wave fashion, while being pressured to conform to Rabbi Rainbow's social elite style.
And we are both the touchstone. We're reflecting the people of the kingdom, and they feel sort of the way that we feel. Mm-hmm. We're sort of that every person role.
I'm Rabbi Rainbows. I am the advisor of the Mewish community on this trash barge. I am the star rabbi cat and a gay dad. I am very stylish. I am a slender black cat in crushed black velvet with a deep V-neck and sort of fur fluffing out at the chest. I wear a yarmulke that is a melted down CD that reflects rainbows off of it from the light of the sun. I am often to be found in Temple Meowsis, as well as in the audience of the catwalk. I have, a lot of expectations of my daughter Narcissa, and I do think she's a little bit too avant-garde fashion-wise. As for Judge Buttercup, I really want to impress them, because deep down in my heart, even though I have a lot of duties to the Mewish community, I actually really want to win the talent show. And there's a lot of tension in my relationship with Judge Buttercup because we're both pretty prestigious figures in the community, and that can cause some awkwardness when we have different goals and needs and wants. And I also happen to have a big crush on Chester McStuffin, the head waiter at the Skybox.
So we're going to get into our game, And you're doing a one-off, so we're not going to use the time passes card for this game because we're doing a one-off. So I think that'll be good, and we'll get right into it.
Will Meowtropolis turn to Temple Meowsy for food?
Temple Meowsis?
Yeah, Meowsis. Excuse me.
So will we eat the holy food?
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah.
The forbidden fruits.
Will we eat the forbidden food? Will we eat the forbidden holy food?
That's a great.
Will we eat the forbidden temple food from Temple Meowsis?
If the trash does not rain down upon us.
Yes. I spell Meowsis with the S and the E reversed. That's why this must be a different spelling from what I was taught as a young kitten.
Yeah.
Well,
Right,
it's
or whatever.
probably
My cat mitzvah?
Yeah.
My
No.
per mitzvah?
Rated.
transliterated from Hispru. So
Yeah.
there's different spellings.
Exactly. Agreed. Okay, we know what our crossroads is. Will Meowtropolis dig into that sweet, sweet holy nectar of the gods once we run out of food or not? I think this first scene then will be at the main drag, and it will be Chester McStuffin meeting up with Narcissa the Lean for drinks,
For social times.
but also to pick up the
In
latest
order.
work Narcissa has completed, the latest costuming
And
work.
of course, there's like a buff young kitten behind the bar now.
Yes, there's a very buff young kitten.
A younger, yeah.
So does that mean that the Honorable Buttercup is in attendance as well?
Yeah,
Probably
yeah.
not. Not
I
these
could
days.
play the buff young kitten.
Not
if
these
need
days.
to.
All right, you'll be the buff young kitten.
The
That
slinging
sounds great.
drinks.
The main drag is popping. A busy night. Earlier in the night though, not too late, not sloppy, but before the main dancing has begun. But it's starting to get packed a little bit. Chester McStuffin is not dressed in his maitre d' outfit, which he usually wears these very nice suits at work. Instead, he's wearing like a track suit that's like velour, and so it's like this sort of bluish, sort of like midnight blue, almost like has black fur. He's He's casual. He would have sunglasses on if he was outside. Are you sitting at the bar, do you think?
I don't think
Narcissa?
Narcissus is there yet.
No?
What's,
Awesome.
Chester McStuffins, is he at the bar?
Yeah, he goes to the bar and says what's up to,
Kitten.
the young
Hey,
kitten.
Chester. Shaking it. You do some sour shots for the road?
Hey there, young blood.
Oh, we got this. I got some the good sour stuff on tap.
Well,
It's whole milk.
it's my day off. You know how I love that sour whole milk.
Oh, it's good and chunky. Shake, 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 shake.
So, how have things been here at the main?
Oh man, I should just get myself neutered. It gets crazy in here. I don't know how you are still alive.
What are you even serving to eat in here these days? I mean, we haven't. I mean, there's not a lot of food, I guess, that's consumed here anymore.
Yeah, no, I mean, a lot of people are on that Schloosh diet.
That Schloosh diet, can't say enough about it. Well, I can't. I got off of it myself. I've been trying to get in shape. My act requires it.
Oh yeah, you're trying to horn in, try to
You
get back
just-
in
you
back in
better
the main.
Keep your eye on that catwalk, my friends.
What? Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah,
No
you're gonna see me up there strutting.
bar jockey's gonna be up on the catwalk. Come on.
They've been saying that for years, but my act.
Look, you already moved on up to the skybox. Luxuriate in that, man.
That's good. The skybox good. Try and get there if you can, kid.
I think I gotta do a little more time here behind the bar.
There's this kind of like yowl, and Narcissa comes in. Looks like maybe it's raining outside, and she like shakes herself off under one paw. She's got this newspaper bundle. Today she's obviously taken some like maybe some chalk or like something white, and she like smeared it over one of her eyes. And she's got this like asymmetrical spiky black ruff around her neck. Runs up to Chester at the bar, and she was like, "Oh, Chester, I'm sorry I'm late. It just started raining.
Oh.
She slides the newspaper.
Caught in the rain. Sorry, Lean. That couldn't have been good for you. Oh, well, and here's something for you as I sort of slide what looks to be maybe like some sardine, sort of like bones, like picked sardine fish heads and bones, like wrapped in newspaper.
She takes them and she kind of like opens the newspaper a little, looks at them, and be like, "It's like that."
They've been sitting. They've been fermenting. Do you smell that? That's quality.
She kind of puts her nose down and gives a little wiggle of the nose, and it's like, "Yeah, they smell pretty good." This seems a little light though for what we talked about.
Yeah, about that. I mean, I'll have to get the rest to you later. It's just Skybox, they're really tightening down on the good stuff. That's the most I could get for you right now. I can get more later.
All right, man. I know you're good for it, but you got to check this out.
What?
She unwraps the newspaper.
I've been
Inside,
dreaming about this. I mean, I've been seeing it in my head.
you are going to
and-
love this. I just know. As she opens the newspaper, like there's kind of like this holographic like reflection.
What is that, a CD? Is that a rainbow?
It's like a cat suit. If Chester like pulls it up, it goes over one paw. It's, like,
Yeah.
very,
Yeah.
avant-garde.
Yeah, totally.
There's like a big cutout, like in the midsection.
Mhm.
All of the nipples are
Mhm.
exposed of
Mhm.
the cat. It's very like
Mhm.
saucy and
Very
also
saucy.
very like out of this world kind of style.
Total-
Isn't this amazing, Chester?
I don't have the words. I feel speechless.
Oh,
I feel speechless.
Narcissa, is this one of yours? I knew it.
It's a Narcissa original.
Man,
I
pick of
You
the
should
litter.
go try it on. Try it on right now. I have to see
yeah,
how it looks on
maybe
you.
It'll look better once it's on.
What do you mean? This is amazing.
It'll look good on me. I'll look better once it's on me. I meant, I'll look good on me. Is there? I'll go in the back. Is that cool, kitten? I'll just go get changed real quick.
Dude, just in and out, quick. Come on.
Thanks, bud. I go into the back room where I
Mm-hmm.
change into the outfit. While I'm back there, I definitely am like taking a look around to see if anything has changed since the last time I was here. And little things have maybe, but nothing untoward. And so I come out and I look amazing in this. Best way I can think about it is almost like an Elton John sort of meets Chippendale, sort of meets Evil Knievel type thing going on is what I'm getting.
That's exactly my inspiration. She's just like reading Chester's thoughts. She gives this little yowl. She like smooths her whiskers and she's like, it's perfect. It's perfect on you.
Chester preens at the compliment, but can't help but sort of look down and be like, internally, this is not what I expected at all.
Kittens behind the bar, like, clearly jealous.
I say, well, I guess this is it.
Well, hurry up, just change out of it. You're gonna get something on it.
Okay. All right. I just don't know. I thought it was going to be a little different.
Different. It's the most different. That's the idea.
Get over yourself.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not hearing like that you're perfectly satisfied with this amazing garment that I've made for you, Chester.
It's not making me purr, if that's what you're asking me.
I'll strut it out.
But no. I think there just maybe need to be some alterations made. I mean, I've been doing a lot of working out, so the dimensions I gave you earlier, maybe that's an issue.
Oh, I'm pretty. I mean, I think I'm pretty cut. I could try it on.
You need some more definition, kitty cat. Yeah. The suit's great. It's great. I'm gonna try it out at the catwalk and see what they think.
Well, I mean, I don't know how those bigwigs up there are gonna take it, but the people who really count, they're gonna know where that came from. They're gonna know
Okay.
Narcissa original.
All right.
And I mean, man, if you want me to make some alterations, I can. But you already seem like you're a little light in the sardines.
I'll get it figured out. The sardines we'll be able to. The sardines we're gonna get figured out. Hey, my main man, why don't you set up Narcissa up with one of those sour milk shots?
Coming up. Shake a, shake a, shake a.
And I think that's a good
All
place
right.
to end our scene. Yes. So I reflect the people of the kingdom, right? I definitely think that we're going to check off one of our crossroads here, and we will check off one of our crises as well, because I think we are getting closer to crisis as we're running out of food.
Rabbi Rainbows saw his daughter Narcissa making this garment and found it appalling.
Yes.
The Honorable Judge Buttercup came into the bar a little later that night as they were doing a line of schloss off the bar. They caught a whiff of Narcissa and Chester.
Yep.
A little pang of jealousy
Oh, yes.
rang up. So next scene.
Narcissa is going to be in the temple Meowsis. I think she is as much confident as a talk that she gave. She's definitely noticed in her scavenging the lack of food. So I think her kittenish curiosity kind of has the better of her, and she wants to go and check out the food stores and see exactly how much sacred food there is going around. Who do you guys think is there?
I think it would be interesting if Rabbi Rainbows walks in on Narcissa snooping around.
Are there usually cats worshiping in the temple at odd hours, or there's sort of like there's general like services that happen and people show up?
I think there's services that happen and people show up. There's also obviously Hispru school.
Okay.
So there's like kittens studying for their per mitzvahs.
And they like live they live there.
They don't live there.
Okay.
They just like are there to study for their per mitzvahs.
Okay. I think it's kind of late at night. Maybe there's like one or two kittens like tucked away in a corner of like the library kind of studying, but that's sort of removed from the galley area of where the food would be. Narcissa has this like scavenger cat suit that she wears, like all black. She's looking very fierce, and she sneaks in under cover of darkness, even though like generally, I think most people have good night vision, or at least their whiskers help them get around. And what would a galley be like? Like, where would the food be? It's probably metal.
It's like big metal cabinets.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Mm-hmm. So she's got one of the cabinets open. Her tail is like straight up in the air, and she's just like poking her nose around, looking in.
All of a sudden, in the darkness of the galley, two bright green eyes appear, and then a pair of long, luxurious eyelashes flitter over them as Rabbi Rainbows stalks into the room. You hear hiss.
Narcissa, her tail is like straight up in the air. She slams the door shut and turns around, and she's just standing there looking at Rabbi Rainbows, like, meow, like pretending like nothing. She's not doing anything wrong.
Rabbi Rainbows is wearing white terry cloth robe, a pair of matching terry cloth slippers, like spa slippers, where there's like a hole in the front and the claws are poking out. He glares at his daughter and he says, "Have you suddenly become devout?"
Dad, I was just looking around. Curiosity and all that.
Well, you know what curiosity does to, Anyway, don't suppose you are here to study the holy books.
Oh, Dad, I've never really been interested in that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, she's like kind of sidling away from the cabinets, like just being very casual in that way that cats do. Of like, I'm just sniffing around, like doing my own thing. What are you doing up anyway, Dad? Isn't it way past your bedtime?
Oh, but my bedtime is none of your affair, young lady.
Don't be so sassy, Dad. I I'm an adult. I'm an adult cat. I can do whatever I want, and you can't tell me what to do.
You can do whatever you want in your own domain. Here, I rule.
Okay, Rabbi, whatever you say. Have fun with your little kingdom here. Her tail is flicking back and forth like she's being really cool, but is actually sort of agitated as she tries to like sidle past him out of the galley.
You see Rabbi Rainbow's whiskers kind of twitch. His nose does that thing when cats like catch the scent of something, and he's sort of like, is that sour milk I smell?
I don't know what you're talking about. She holds out a paw and starts grooming her face very casually.
Don't be coy with me.
Dad, I really don't know what you're talking about. I'm gonna go to bed. You should go to bed too.
His tail coils around in like a spiral and then uncoils and then coils again into a spiral. And he looks at you sideways and he's like, I know there's more to this.
I really don't know what you're talking about, Dad. I have to be up early, scavenging, doing important things, trying to make our people look their best. That's what's important to you, isn't it? You looking your best, people looking their best, people looking at you at your best.
He is silent, but you hear the sort of agitated purr that cats sometimes do when unhappy. Just a rumbling purr coming out from underneath his fluffy terry cloth robe.
Narcissa, as she's walking out the door, does a little like flip with her back legs, like, I'm done with this situation.
Burying
As she stalks away into the night.
Like once she's gone, Rabbi Rainbows makes sort of a gesture towards the sky, speaking to the god of cats, is just sort of like, why have you given me such a daughter?
So what will you check?
I will definitely check the crossroads.
Okay.
I'm going to say if the kingdom eats the forbidden food.
Yes. Or
From,
if yes.
if the kingdom eats the forbidden food from Temple Meowsis, there will be retaliation against the cats by the first mate of the bard.
Oh,
This is a scene in the catwalk. Rabbi Rainbows goes to the catwalk to try to find Judge Buttercup to like sort of butter him up. But Buttercup is not there. Instead, Rabbi Rainbows finds Chester McStuffin doing like really rigorous dance practice
Yes.
for the talent show.
yeah. Workout dance routine. It's 80s jazzercise meets sort of like pumping iron. Push-ups, a lot of acrobatic displays.
It's like high noon, right? It's like
High
it's like the
noon.
next day when Rabbi Rainbows like comes into the catwalk area, since
Yeah.
it's outside.
Yeah.
You see like a glorious beam of rainbows shining off of his yarmulke made of a CD.
Yeah, it distracts me and I sort of lose concentration and have to stop.
Like a laser pointer.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, huh?
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah.
Huh?
This like happens for a while without Rabbi Rainbows noticing it. Like Rabbi Rainbows will like turn his head to one side and like the rainbow will move like a laser pointer.
Huh?
And like as this is happening, you see like Chester McStuffin keeps like tracking the light.
Yeah.
So this kind of cat game happens with the light for a while. Finally, Rabbi Rainbows is like, "Hey, hot stuffin', you don't happen to have seen the judge around, have you?"
Hey, hot matzo ball. I have not seen the Honorable Buttercup. Good thing, too. That feline cannot keep their eyes off me.
Well, who could? You are absolutely radiant in that. What are you wearing?
I'm not wearing a costume. I'm wearing like workout gear. So I'm wearing material that like a football jersey is made out of, cut above my midriff. So it's like
Perfect.
showing off my abs, basically.
Yeah.
And then I'm wearing like 70s like gym shorts, basically, like short shorts. and really high socks.
Rabbi Rainbows is wearing white mesh little short shorts, low cut, plasticky looking neon pink exercise shirt. Yeah, he wears like a Hispru pendant.
Yep.
Like it's got like a Hispru letter on it. It's very clear that he's come from like his morning exercise.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's like, it would be impossible to keep one's eyes off those incredible coat of beautiful, luxurious fur.
Well, to keep this coat luxurious and shiny, I need the finest oils available. Normally, I prefer a more of a fish oil. Sometimes there is a bit of different types of sea oils that I'm able to find. But really, without drops from our God, I mean, things have really been getting difficult. I'm worried about my coat for the performance.
Oh, don't worry. Our God always provides. In fact, I've got just the thing you're looking for back in Temple Meows's. If you're interested, we stored up a few packages of discarded remnants of Nova Scotia smoked salmon, and the oils are gathering in those plastic packets as we speak. I have a proposal for you. If you're interested, I would be happy to lavish you with this salmon oil if you don't mind if I indulge in licking the plastic.
A holy dunking, one could say.
One could, and one would.
That would give me the edge I need in the competition. Rabbi, you look out for us, and I appreciate it.
As soon as Rabbi Rainbows hears you say that this is for the competition,
Uh-huh.
his ears perk up.
And then flatten.
And then flatten, exactly. And then he goes, "Meh." On second thought, you know, I was actually saving those salmon packets for Mrs. Rosen's Shiva later today. It's so sad that she passed away. Nobody had really tended to her ever since she went into the freezer.
I guess the rumors aren't true, and the morals of the synagogue are still very much intact.
Yes. The synagogue is very much intact. He's like has a strange look on his face as he tries to like puzzle through like, is this an insult? Is this a compliment? Like, what's happening? But he doesn't quite get it.
Well, my practice time's over. Here comes the next one. Yes. Good luck, Vanessa. Good luck.
That scene.
All right.
I'm gonna check off the crossroads because I think
Okay,
this is still
that's going
related to
forward.
the food.
You can also give another prediction as part of your pass.
So if the kingdom does not eat the forbidden food from Temple Meows's, there will be a riot that will take place. The Schlush pipe. All of the weirdo underground Schlush hipsters, as they get really hopped up on catnip, they're gonna like get rowdy, and there's gonna be like a food riot in the Schlush pipe.
Yeah.
If no.
Any reactions?
The judge, they just happened to be coming by to, make sure that the workouts were going well, that routines were working out, and up from their vantage in the shadows, they saw the rabbi and McStuffin talking, and again that pang of jealousy surges through them.
The people of the kingdom, the people of Meowtropolis are coming around to the same idea that Chester had, that maybe, possibly, the leadership of Temple of Meowsis are corrupt as well.
There's a group of kittens and cats that kind of hang around the catwalk that are like the catwalk groupies. And as the rabbi and Chester were talking, they overheard what they were talking about, and they start whispering to one another. Like, he said he has salmon. He had, and then from whispering, they kind of stalk off back into the community.
Yeah.
Shadows.
Into the shadows.
This is the beginning of the season.
Mm.
This is the revelation of the rules guiding this season's competition. We time it. We know that we're getting close because we've crossed the mouth of the gaping water,
The Meowth.
the meow. And we know that we're going to be getting to the dumping site soon.
Mm-hmm.
The dumping site is the dry season, but it's also when we have our competition. So now we must state the rules. So the Honorable Judge Buttercup has called all those who compete and care about competition to hear these rules be brought forth. And so we're all here.
Where?
We are at the catwalk,
No catwalk. Okay.
and everyone is in the audience, and the judge comes up onto this like sort of rusted cup holder kind of thing that acts as a judge box where the rulings are given, the final sort of tally is given. And they climb up from there and they go, the time has come. This season's rules are something else. You gotta understand, we're gonna have a dry, lean season if y'all don't step up. So here's what I'm gonna make us do. We're getting back to basics, y'all. You know what's beautiful? And Buttercup unties their robe and shucks their robe, and you see just the natural, like, beautiful afro, the white fringe that pours down off their tight white leotard. So they're standing there unadorned. They go, behold true beauty. This is what we want to see. No accoutrement, just your bodies. So, no makeups, no dressing gowns, and we just want au naturel, Greek style, for this fancy feast.
I think traditionally this kind of setting of the rules is like it's almost a celebration.
Yeah.
So people have come in like their coolest like outfits. And Narcissa, sort of like in protest of this, is just covered in like a black sheet. She cut out like little holes for her eyes.
Ghost.
And now everyone around her is like looking at her and whispering. And all across there's like murmurs of like, what? All the people in there.
Rubble.
Bring out the calendar. And two, like, Kitten from the bar and another, like, Chippendale kind of carry out this old calendar, this, like, Meow Mix cat calendar, and they flip it open, and it's like, look at this beautiful girl. She's strutting herself. It's just a picture of a big kid. Big calendar. You want your face on a billboard like this? You better bring it. Dry season's coming.
Rabbi Rainbow's in the front row of the audience. He has to be presentable as like the rabbi of the community. So he's wearing shiny white low-cut catsuit, covers most of his fur, but like has like a plunging neckline. And he still has the like little like medallion with the Hispru letter. Also is wearing basically a tallis, but it's like made out of stuck together red fruit roll-ups. Really, really shiny and sticky and smells really fruity. Really, really garish. Is also up to code for like having all of the requirements of a tallis. Has all the knots and the things and whatever. Like it's like technically appropriate, but like aesthetically completely inappropriate. He's holding in one paw, he basically like tore the wrapper off of a can of tuna and he's writing on the back of it with like his finger, like his claw dipped into oil and like using the oil to like take furious notes in like tiny handwriting on the back of this unrolled label, like about all of the aesthetic details of what the Honorable Judge Buttercup is revealing about the upcoming competition. So he's like overzealously scribbling these notes with one extremely long claw.
Now, in the spirit of the rules of this competition, let's have a little demonstration. I've already shed my garments, my excess, and shown you myself in my full beauty. I would ask that you all do the same. Kitten, why don't you start us off? And Kitten pulls off their bow tie and strips off their Speedo and stands there in their full cat suit.
Oh, like their birthday cat suit.
Their birthday suit. Their birthday cat suit.
And everyone and most of the people around start doing the same. That's like that's my power, is to make the kingdom do something.
Yeah, and so
And they start throwing the clothes into a pile at the foot of the catwalk.
So there's this like ecstatic moment where Rabbi Rainbow's chest starts sort of like puffing out and going back in and going like out and in and out and in. And you hear like a
yeah.
two things happen at the same time. One is Rabbi Rainbow's coughs up a giant hairball. And so the hairball just goes like flying triumphantly into the air. And as this hairball comes bursting out of Rabbi Rainbow's, his white low-cut like outfit just bursts at the seams and explodes off of his glorious fluffy body.
For Chester McStuffin, he arrived at this event dressed like a 50s Rock Hudson, like I'm about to go out on like a yacht for the day. I'm in like boat shoes. I'm in like like I'm very clean cut. I'm like in this polo shirt. My hair's parted impeccably, and I just look very, clean, manicured. I also have brought a small clipboard with which I was going to write down the rules of the competition on. But as the Honorable Judge Buttercup has made clear that the rules are, there are no rules.
Well, the rules are no clothes.
No clothes.
Yeah.
I'm taken by surprise, but fashion is what we're all about. And you're saying now we're not about fashion? He's confused. I think he's sort of looking puzzled.
Does he take his clothes off?
Does he take his clothes off? And I think he does not.
Yeah. What's the clipboard made of, by the way?
I think the clipboard is probably made out of like a Honey Nut Cheerios piece of Honey Nut Cheerios box, and like a paper clip that's sort of been put on top.
So
of
I'm
it.
going to kind of call that your reaction. I'm going to end this
Yes,
scene,
that's
by the
fine.
way, as
Yeah.
the crisis.
Yeah.
So that's just a heads up. That's we've ticked the crisis a little further.
As a reaction, Narcissa, like some of the people around her are sort of milling like confusedly, and they start to sort of like look at each other and then start taking off their clothes, and she stands up and she says, "Are we cats or are we sheep? Wake up. They're trying to distract us from the crisis. They're trying to make us live with less. Where is the food? Give us the food." And some of the other like crust punks and like weirdos and the goth cats around here are like,
food.
Are you gonna
"Hey,
take? Are
yeah."
you gonna take a power
Give
roll?
us the food.
I don't think so, because what does the power do?
Make someone do something, like convinces them not to do what I told them to do.
No, I don't think so. I show how people feel.
Yeah.
Right?
You say you're challenging maybe.
Yeah.
But I'm not trying to make anybody do anything.
Right, but I made them take off their clothes.
I don't think so. I want to see what happens when people don't have clothes.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
Perfect.
So you,
But-
Okay, so no.
so there's doubt in people's
doubt.
There is lots of doubt.
doubt.
Yeah.
And
it.
there is
Meow.
some dissension as to the distraction tactics of
Yes.
the
Yeah, so some So some people are not taking off their clothes. Some people are seeing through the
Yeah,
the
and I think some
ruse.
people are doing it. They're just like very confused and like they're like, like
Rabbi Rainbow's like in juxtaposition to his daughter, who's protesting all of this, is like luxuriating in this like newfound nudity, and is like starts sort of cleaning himself, is like licking his chest and like licking his paws, and then starts licking the tallis that's made out of a red fruit roll up.
We will interrupt our story here and continue in our next communique. I was one of your players, John Holt. You can find me on Twitter at Lord Joho and on Instagram at board_ghost. Ken, where can people find you?
Board Ghosts, find me, Ken, at Burlingsbeard, BERLINGS, on Twitter, Instagram, and my website of the same name. I am a Dungeon Master for hire in the New York City area. You can contact me to run your games in person or online. I also am a content creator for D&D at RPG or Drive-Thru RPG, and would love to connect with you if you're going to be at Gen Con in August. So definitely hit me up if you're going to be in Indianapolis.
And I'm D. Gailey. I'm a big old nerd. You can find me on Twitter at MixNerd, MXNURD, and we can talk about nerd stuff.
Hi, Rabbi Rainbows has been brought to you by Lucian Khan. I am on Twitter at OH_THEOGONY, Otheogony. It's a pun. It's really hard to tell you what it is on a podcast, and I shouldn't have made that my Twitter handle. I am a game designer. I am the designer of a game that has a Kickstarter coming up in October. It is called Visigoths versus Molgoths. It is exactly what it sounds like. So look for that on Kickstarter in October.
Yay!
All right. So to learn more about the engine and players in our story, go check out boardghost.com. You can attempt to pierce the veil and contact us at Twitter at BoardGhostWorld. What else can you do? If you'd like to get access to episode halves early, get access to exclusive art and some videos, of which I might start making some 3D videos exclusive to our Patreons at patreon.com/boardghost. All right. We'd like to thank Pat Couples for our theme song and interlude music. You can find more about Pat at patcouples.tumblr.com or on his band's website, hotelsandhighways.com. If you're not alone in the void, share our stories. The more they are consumed, the truer they become.
Dying don't agree with me.